There's a lot to be said for sudden death. Last year, and this is 2026, a quarter of American adults put off going to the hospital or seeing a medical professional because of the expense, even if they had health insurance. You can check that out. I've got health issues in Thailand. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'll go into a little bit of detail just to kick this video off and then go into the main part of the video. About a week ago, I made a video where my car, the gearbox of my car, was stuck in reverse and I had to get some help to repair it. And you may remember, if you're watching that video, I did say that I've got a lift phobia or elevator phobia, that I had to climb up about 6 flights of stairs to access the car park after I did my thing where I was. And after that, I realised that my car was stuck in reverse. And between walking up the 6 flights of stairs and getting in and out of the car, I was jolting getting in and out of the car. What did I do? I pulled a muscle in my abdomen, right there, right here. And it's excruciating. Absolutely, it has been excruciating. That was that. So I've been battling with my abdominal strain for the last week. And it has begun to get mildly easier, better. But what happened? You hear it in my voice. Harry very kindly gave me a virus. He coughed in my face. He was home from school the other day and he was lying in bed. I was on the bed beside him, I was watching TV. He was playing with his phone. He just turned to me and coughed in my face. And I said, God. So what have I got now? I've got an abdominal strain, or I think it is, and I have a lower respiratory tract infection. I know it is because I'm coughing up garbage. And I can feel my energy has been depleted. And the constant pain in my abdomen, you'd almost lose the will to do anything. But see, I'm making this video because, as I said, I don't know if I said it before or not, but if I haven't, I should. The only thing that's going to stop me making videos on YouTube is I won't be here anymore. Anyway, that's where I stand at the moment, barely. I tell you what I haven't done. I haven't gone to the doctor. And having this abdominal strain for a week, although it's gradually improving, I was thinking to myself, I was lying on the bed when I was in agony, what if it's not an abdominal strain? Because I couldn't remember straining it. You don't have to remember, but anyway, I couldn't remember straining it. I said to myself, it could be any number of things, some more serious than others. But you see, going to the hospital just wasn't on the cards. And it's not on the cards because of the expense. Do you know, last year, and this is 2026, a quarter of American adults put off going to the hospital or seeing a medical professional because of the expense, even if they had health insurance. You can check that out. It's a statistic. I have health insurance, but it only covers me as an inpatient. It doesn't cover me as an outpatient. And I know from my experience in going to private hospitals in Thailand, yeah, they are relatively less expensive than private hospitals in the West. But you see, when you're living in Thailand, your budget is Thai. I'll give you a real life scenario of going to a private hospital in Bangkok. You'd be seen by, they take your, I don't know if they do this in all hospitals, triage, I suppose they do it in triage everywhere. Take your blood pressure, weigh you, your height and all the rest of it. Then you're told to wait, and then you're seen by a doctor. The doctor sees you, then he diagnoses whatever it is and whatever treatment is required and whatever medication is required. And I'm not saying this, excuse me, I'm not talking about any one particular hospital. I'm just saying this is my experience. That after you've been to the doctor, he'll give the prescription. Then you have to pay. You go to a kiosk and you pay, and then you go to another kiosk and collect your prescription. And I've noticed on more than one occasion, especially bringing Harry, that the medication was over the top. It seemed to be over the top. I call it upselling. So one of the things that I'm going to do, and I hope I don't have to do it, but obviously you have to, if you want to have any degree of longevity, you're going to have to consult with a medical professional at some stage. But if I go again to a private hospital, I'm going to refuse medication unless it's a specific painkiller for what I have or an antibiotic for what I have, but none of this supplementary stuff. That's my experience. And a trip to the hospital will cost you somewhere in the region, ballpark, give or take, as an outpatient, the guts of $200. And I know this fella's screaming at the screen. Oh, God. I know this fella's screaming at the screen now, saying you can go to a government hospital. Of course you can go to a government hospital. And it's going to be 300 or 500 baht for registration. It's a fraction. It's less than a fraction of what you pay in a private hospital. But you've got to be there by 6 o'clock in the morning. And you've got to be prepared to wait all day. And you've got to be prepared to deal with doctors who don't speak English. Generally speaking, in private hospitals, generally speaking, they do. And for me, I prefer to speak in English to a medical professional if he's treating me for whatever ailment I have. I wouldn't like to leave anything to chance of a misunderstanding if I was trying to explain things in Thai, which I probably couldn't. I would love to go to the hospital today because of the way I'm feeling with this abdominal thing. I'd like to go and get it checked out. Could it be a hernia? Well, I doubt very much that it is, because there has been some improvement over a matter of days. But I can't really bend down. Well, I can bend down to a degree. But I'd love to go to a hospital. I'd love the reassurance of going and getting something sorted, or getting a specific reassurance of whatever it is that's ailing me. But this is my future in Thailand. And I've heard this before about America, that I didn't know the figure, but 26% of Americans didn't go to hospital last year because of the expense. I mean, what the hell's going on? In Ireland's, where I'm from, the healthcare system has been criticised, and there's lots of things that are wrong with it, but it's a darn sight better than Thailand. I mean, for example, glasses. I've put off buying glasses. These are scratched. In Europe, well, I say Ireland specifically, I don't know about the rest of Europe, but I presume it's the same. I'm entitled, I think it is, to 2 pairs of free glasses per year, or at least 1 pair, because your social insurance payments provide for that. But you see, in Thailand, you've got to fork out for every trivial, let's say, medical ailment, and the expense can rocket. And you're listening to someone who has insurance, health insurance, but as I said, it only covers me as an inpatient. Because of my current condition, pardon the alliteration, I can't, well, I can, but it'd be inadvisable to do it. I can't really do any dancing. But don't despair. Here's something I prepared earlier. trust you enjoyed that. Unfortunately, I can't do it for real now. This is about all I can manage, whatever, because of my abdominal thing. But here's the thing, lads, here's the thing. Hospitals should be there to provide healthcare and not to seek profit. But if hospitals don't try to make a profit, how are they supposed to invest in the equipment needed to provide the healthcare in the first place? I'll just say that private hospitals in general are purely profit. Private hospitals in Thailand and everywhere else, but we're talking about Thailand, it would seem to be the private hospitals are run like companies. They are companies and they're there to make a profit. And as a person who comes from a country where private healthcare is purely optional, you don't need it because the public healthcare will suffice. I know this fella's going to shout at me saying there's waiting lists in the public, but there's waiting lists in the public everywhere. Anyway, maybe not so much, but whatever. But that's the thing. Another question: why have I got this virus at this time of the year specifically? Because this is the monsoon season, the rainy season. And you can Google this if you want. During the rainy season in Thailand, waterborne viruses are abound. They're absolutely everywhere. And every year I get something like this. And I'm not going to call it the flu, because the flu is a general term. It's a virus. I don't know what type of virus it is. And I'm not going to go to a hospital to identify the type of virus, because that will be a last resort. And if you're like me, and you're living in Southeast Asia or in America, you'll be treating hospital visits as a last resort. In Ireland, we don't. When I lived in Ireland, I would go for absolutely everything and anything without hesitation, because I didn't have to pay. And I know you say I don't know what's like now, but I remember quoting my PRSI, my PPS number. We used to call it the PRSI number. That's your pay-related social insurance number at the triage or whatever, when you were registered, when you went into the hospital. And at the time, I think I was bitten by a dog once. This is years and years ago. And they tried to charge me €80. I didn't have it on me. I just said, I don't have it on me, so they'll bill you. They'll bill you. They'll send it out. If you don't pay, you don't pay. I mean, that's more or less, I don't know what it's like now. But there's no concern in Ireland about there's no culture of avoidance in terms of seeking professional healthcare, a professional healthcare consultation based on the fact that you're worried about the expense. But here it is. If what I ever have, please God, I won't have to experience anything like that in the future. There's a lot to be said for sudden death. But if I ever have something like that in the future, where something's acute and I have no idea what it is, so I have to seek medical care, medical assistance, of course I will. But I'm being selective. I can manage the things that are wrong with me today myself, and I can deal with them myself. And I'm well enough to do the things that I normally do every day, like make a video, with the exception of dancing, make a video, collect my son from his grind. Harry goes to grinds up here. That's a whole different story. Thais seem to think that the more, like the Chinese, that the more time you spend in education, the better it is for you. Like Chinese kids have homework to do on their summer holidays. I mean, come on. Harry goes to grinds up here in Pontoon when he should be running around playing in the garden. He's at an English grind now, down below in Amazon. I have to go and collect them there. So I can still do the things that I can do or have been doing as normal. I don't feel 100%. And by the way, I haven't touched a drop of alcohol in 7 days. And that wasn't difficult. That's a realization for me. I just realized this morning, I have gin in the fridge here, I said, I didn't have a drop in a week. So there's an answer to my critics. And the thing is, the last thing I'd want, feeling the way I feel now, not firing on all cylinders, the last thing that would cross my mind is to have a beer or a gin or a whiskey or anything like that. It just, Jesus. It's not at the races. It's not at the races. So what's your experience of healthcare in Thailand? If you might be in a different situation to me. You might be able to afford private healthcare and think nothing of it. Well, fair play to you if you can. But I wouldn't say the majority of people are in that category. It's times like today with my abdominal strain that has lasted a week, and this that has lasted 2 days now, or well, it's one full day now. Again, I've said this in so many videos, the vulnerability of living in Thailand. If I was incapacitated, I can tell you now, I wouldn't want to be here. I'd go back home to my home country with my tail between my legs. I wouldn't go to the Canary Islands, I wouldn't go to Spain, I wouldn't go to French Guiana, I wouldn't go to Cambodia, I wouldn't go to Vietnam and go through all this shit all over again. I go home and have have access to the public health service in Ireland, and it's more than adequate, and I wouldn't have to wait to get a pair of glasses. Do you know something, lads? If it wasn't for my wonderful Thai wife, I wouldn't be as confident about myself today in relation to the things that have afflicted me. And that's what you need in Thailand. You need a Thai girl, a decent Thai girl, to be there for you. And on Thai Date VIP, that's where you can find her. Thai Date VIP is a wonderful website. It's a dating site, but it's not your average dating site. It's run by a French guy, a good friend of mine from Hoi Hin. And on Thai Date VIP, many guys who watch this channel have met their future wives and girlfriends on Thai Date VIP. I know because it told me. Give it a go. Scan the QR or click the link below and register with Thai Date VIP. And let me know how you get on. Because days like today, when you're feeling low, it's wonderful to know that there's someone there that has your back. Thai Date VIP, lads, don't underestimate that. I swear to God, it's well worth a visit. Anyway, I'd like to know your experience with healthcare in Thailand and your position with healthcare in Thailand. I've often said it before, and we all know this. Not to have health cover in Thailand isn't an option, because your Thailand dream could end like that. You'd be back home in a heartbeat if there was something wrong with you, because you couldn't afford to avail of the private healthcare here in Thailand, because private healthcare is the only way to go. And I'll tell you another thing. There's guys that help me on a daily basis and buy me a coffee. Thank you so much. These are the guys who've helped me on Buy Me a Coffee. And every single day, I'm grateful for their contributions. If you want to do the same, you can scan the QR or click the link below to buy me a coffee. And I'd really, really appreciate it. And remember, lads, I try to bring you entertaining and informative videos on this channel. And I welcome your feedback. Maybe I don't get back to every single comment, but I'll do my best to do that. Let me know your situation, your experience with healthcare in Thailand. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks for joining me.